I did a lot of videos back in the day without realizing what was coming. With that being said, I was looking at this video out of curiosity, just to kind of visit, things when things were a lot better for me, when I was more free and happier. I look all fucked up, Look at these pictures. You can see it's not just in my head. It's not just physiological or anything. It's physical. Scar right here, like somebody punched me. Nobody punched me. Everybody around here is cool. People don't fuck with me around here. I can lift, so I ain't no fucking crackhead. So lift is 30. Ah, shit. Shit feels light. With that being said, I'm healthy. Just got through eating a $2.50 steak I paid, and there shouldn't be any problems with me. Logically speaking. I'm saying this to say, this little ass bitch, she did somewhere. She saw an entity attachment or something, and is trying to fuck with my ass, fuck with my consciousness and something really, really bad, and pull me in the Santa Muerte as hell realm. It's trying to control what I say. But even worse, so I don't. They was fucking with frankincense and myrrh I was using, so I gotta watch out. That I just brought. With that being said, there were a lot of videos I did back then that foreshadowed what was coming. And I wish I could have seen it. With that being said, I wanted to, watch this video that was taken in the past that I did, in which I thought it was a really, really cool deputy that I knew out in Compton when I used to cop watch. I remember that nigga was funny. You got two kids there. He was joking with me, and he was a funny dude. A lot of them people are good people. My dad's a retired New Orleans police officer, and I saw him. He was in the Rothschild's consciousness being torn up. Sean Carter, also known as Jay-Z. I sound schizo, but, I remember the day I tried to put myself back in my body. The soul swapping shit is real. That happened. I saw it through my third eye. I tried to use my third eye to get back in, and it's just been hell for me ever fucking. Oh. With that being said, so like some torrential coming this way. I had a lot of my fucking consciousness poured out. My child consciousness stolen and put into Zendaya, Coleman's, and that timeline and all of that last night. with the information. He Kate, really, I think by that Cassandra Nunez, Christy Nunez, whatever the fuck her name is. He's trying to pull me into Santa Muerte's hell realm. I know he Kate's real. That I just gotta move with nuances with this and be careful because it's just too much evil shit. With that being said, I thought on the surface, and I wish I had a better spirit team. I had all sorts of shit on me back then, but I wish I had a better spirit team that would have blocked what was coming. If I had my original, I would have been good. And I keep getting blocked from getting them back. With that being said, in one of the astral visions I had involving him, I thought it was him coming to me for a message, but turns out it was this Maria Blanco. It's funny, I see them niggas driving down the street, and they really big with the whole, I heard in the spirit plane she's using, they're using LAPD helicopters and shit to scout, to snatch me up, and I had that happen one day when my etheric walls almost got, totally fucking eviscerated. But with that being said, this Maria Blanco, Maria Tavarez, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck I'm dealing with. It's the highest self of a woman I got a reading from, who going back to May the 1st, 2024. I heard I died in my sleep. I even hear it from her. I saw my body by a black cube in the astral plane, which indicates death. You see people around the world talking about the black cube, the Jews talking about it. It indicates death. Saw the Grim Reaper, I don't know if that was Santa Muerte or not, last night, right behind me. So something ain't right. I had people telling me I smelled like a dead fucking body, burning flesh. There were times when I was disconnected to this dude's timelines here. Really mine, I intermixed with his. I almost felt like I was no longer alive and like I was in the astral plane. So something happened, and I would see a sign by Santa Muerte saying, "You're dead. You're dead." So something happened, and that usually indicates death. Squiggly lines for timelines, and with her, I'm wearing it right now, but I heard they fucked with it or something. You can wear frankincense and myrrh to get rid of her, as well as black tourmaline, and I brought some and I started wearing it and practicing what I preach, but with so much shit going on, it gets nuanced. because I'm so compromised. You know, I'm trying to get my consciousness from last night and figure out what the fuck is going on. I've heard that Christy Nunez has commandeered my whatchamacallit, my connection to He before it, and the Zendaya keeps stealing my powers, my mama's powers, and all of that. Linda Williams Jr. That's connected. I mean, Linda Williams. That's my mama's name. Is my name. That's connected to an entity attachment of ISIS. And I heard, she got a black card from the Illuminati, and, that Maria Cassandra Blanco was involved with them, and it's something to do with wanting to steal the powers. From what I understand from my dad's line, I'm related to ISIS. And the powers of the Egyptian gods who created this whole realm. They didn't fuck with the Illuminati. They got nothing to do with that. Some demiurge, Yoda, shit. With that being said, from what I understand, they're trying to use the power of the Egyptian gods to destroy humanity. The alien race or robotic and shit is supposed to be us in the future. And at one point I had them steal my child consciousness, parts of it. Going back to the, like I said, I know I got soul swapped. Had somebody put the ancestral timelines of somebody else on my back. The next day I had an Indian shopkeeper, very mad, level-headed guy, say to me, I got a call from somebody sounding exactly like you through static asking for help. So something happened. And I know y'all saw that weird thing with my eye just now. I had a little spirit guy that was getting my consciousness put back yesterday, and it's just fucked up. That's when the part got stolen. And she was putting me back together. She was using, I think, 3002 hertz. And I planned on doing something, where I was going to experiment with frequency and teleportation. But the 3002 hertz combined with 135 hertz or 125 hertz, I know 125 hertz gets you out of hell realms. 1185 hertz transmutes. 156 hertz spirit jars. 295 hertz is kind of like power retrieval, so it's 446 hertz. And 295 hertz combined with 695 hertz can pull your shit back. And I was playing that, trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. But this Maria Tavarez, she got some type of she's fucking with my consciousness, some type of control, because she's able to, fuck with shit as I get it back. And what little of a spirit team I got, we're trying to block that. Something to do, I think, with an entity attachment. Hold up, I gotta fix that. And she's fucking with it right now. About manipulating things. Like, you gonna do this? And, if you tell the truth. With that being said, I'm also say this. I saw a cataclysm occur in the future in, 60-foot wave hitting Santa Monica in 2009. I believe all of this coincides with the Illuminati, with what's happening. With that being said, in the video I mentioned soul swapping. Somebody taking over my body and taking me out. So here's the video, and then I'm going to show you the video of a 60-foot wave hitting Santa Monica that I saw in 2000. Heavy symbology there. So anyways, when I went back to sleep, after having that vision, it was brief. It was like I wasn't even asleep. I had another vision where I had another vision where it was showing him at some softball match, and he was with his wife. First, his wife was big and pregnant. Actually, almost looked like a woman around here, but I know it ain't. Very pretty lady. And they were with the kids and all of that, and then he was doing something called cha-ching, and he was with this Jewish guy who I got into it with before. Now, anyways, going right back to his car, so he didn't come out here for anything. We're about to get that woke, but we came out here to get the woke. It's like a horror film. I'm like a horror film, and I take pride in it. So anyways, in the second vision, I had another vision in which, where the fucking dogs coming from? I had another vision. I had people in their motherfucking dogs. I had another vision just earlier where I was in his home and there was a black guy there. There was a light-skinned black guy, almost kind of looked like some guy around here. And it was his home, it seemed, but it wasn't. It took place in my old childhood home. And so anyways, I was trying to warn him about the demiurge, and I was telling him about the demiurge, and I kept telling him about the Nazi test. And it seemed like I was a demon in this. Like, I had, my body and stuff all here, but at the same time, I had, like, the head of, it was a demonic, like a fly, or, some type, maybe that's how he sees me in the astral, and that's how I got portrayed to him. And I woke. Now, anyways, picking up from both of those, I can't help but wonder, I know that a lot of people, a lot of law enforcement still watch my YouTube videos, even though I'm talking a lot about spirituality now, like true, real spirituality, voodoo and shit and all of this. And they probably try to emulate and do the stuff that I'm doing, because it's intriguing. Again, we're in that age of Aquarius, in which we're in the age of the woman, in which certain shit is being revealed. It's no longer the black and white world in which I grew up with. Back when I was growing up, everything was like Clinton is good, all of this. Now we got all this shit with Pizzagate, conspiracy of silence. I remember that going back to 1993. All this shit coming out. This is a time of truths and revelations, and whatchamacallit's being revealed. Like superficial shit. Like back in the day, you got people choosing to live in their fucking motor homes. You got people choosing to live in their fucking cars. I chose to live in my car for right now, especially up until, I find my right spot. It ain't gonna be something, I wanna be like a north, so I got to push it in the north society. I gotta wait till it's the right motherfucking time. And so I have no doubt in my mind that even the Northeastern motherfuckers probably looking at my videos and are like, this is interesting, man. I would like to have spiritual experiences. Let me watch her channel, because you can get the real shit from her channel on spiritual shit, because I ain't on that whole fluffing. A lot of times, I'm gonna tell you something right now, them fluff motherfuckers get their info from people like me. But this deputy lawman, Jeff Lawman, I don't want to say it for me, this man must have some psychic abilities for me to keep seeing him in my visions. At the end of that last one, I was driving in the car with my mother, and I think we may have came across him, or it felt like I was in his car. I really don't know what to make of it. But this strange motherfucker. Oh, that's somebody else. Yeah, but anyways, another thing too about this energy this time, it's like people just ain't, people ain't give a fuck. I just don't give a fuck. I was watching Furry Potatoes, one of her recent videos. They had the nigga that tried to snatch the shit out of her hand. She was about to whip that nigga ass. People just, like people who've been bullied and shit, they just ain't putting up with it anymore. And like the shit is falling down, and people are being more honest and real. So with that said, it's kind of like with me. I'm just not having the bullshit. I'm just shutting shit down. Especially I have the power to fuck up your afterlife shit. Why should I put up exposure? But I'm wondering to myself, why does this deputy keep showing up in my fucking visions? Isn't that I'm picking up, generating off the energy of that channel that I had going back to 2012, because I keep seeing him. Like, this is highly unusual for me to keep seeing somebody. And I know in one of his things he did a song, I just can't recall